Hello guys! Today I'm coming at you with another Tower of God video. Can you guys tell I really love this anime and webtoon series? And I've seen a lot of people saying that they don't like Tower of God, and I understand it's really confusing and it doesn't make much sense when you first go into it, but please just give it a chance. Watch my other two videos that explain Shinsu and kind of everything you need to know to go into Tower of God. This episode, I just kind of want to talk about all of the characters in the first part. Again, currently Tower of God has 3 different parts, but this one's only going to cover characters that are introduced in part 1. If you are not caught up to the webtoon, or you're watching the anime and you don't want any spoilers, you probably shouldn't watch this video. It's definitely going to have spoilers of characters. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go through it by teams. So in the second floor, everyone goes through the first test where they have to dwindle down the number of regulars who are in it, and then at the very end they have to form teams of 3. So the first one I'm going to go over is Bam's team. So Bam's team includes Bam, Kun, and Rock. Of course, Bam is the protagonist of Tower of God. He is an irregular who comes from the outside world, and his only motivation throughout most of season 1 is just to protect and find Rachel. While he's looking for Rachel, he meets Kun. So during the fight, Kun sees that Bam has the Black March, which is one of the legendary 13-month series. And so Kun is already a little bit interested in him. So a little bit about Kun. The reason Kun is trying to make his way up the tower is that he eventually wants to be the head of the Kun family. But Kun was actually exiled from his family, so obviously that decision doesn't really sit right with him. Kun is also super smart and also Bam's best friend, and one of my personal favorite characters. Next you have Rock, who is like a big dinosaur, alligator type character, and he's mostly there for comic relief. He calls them all turtles and basically would rather fight and prove he's strong than be strategic and make his way up the tower. But he is very strong. The next group is Rachel, Ark-Young, and Androzy. Again, spoiler alert. Rachel. I hate Rachel. She is literally the worst character, such a great villain. Rachel is also an irregular like Bam. The only difference is that she wasn't actually chosen by the tower. So when she enters, she hides and lets Bam take the test first, and then when she talks to Heaton after, he says, "I'll help you make it up the tower," which is how you get Androzy and Ark-Young. Both of these two characters were actually handpicked by Heaton to go with Rachel to help her make her way up. Ark-Young is supposedly another irregular. We don't know too much about him other than he is ridiculously strong. His name literally means evil spirit. Androzy is actually one of the princesses of Jihad, or Zahad. I'm not sure how you say that. So Androzy actually is one of the characters who helps Bam learn how to fight. So without her, he really wouldn't be as strong of a fighter as he is. After that group, it's Ho, Serena, and Laurae. So Ho is immediately jealous of Bam because he knows that Bam is a lot stronger than him. So Ho gets an anonymous letter, saying that if he wants Bam to leave the competition or leave the tower, he should kill Rachel. And so he attempts to kill Rachel, but of course fails, and then, again, spoiler alert, kills himself. And that's kind of it. Serena, when I was reading the webtoon, I got her and Androzy really confused because they look similar. She's kind of regular, she's not particularly strong, and she actually doesn't end up passing, so she doesn't continue her way up the tower. Laurae is basically the Tower of God equivalent for Aizawa. They're both sleeping bag boys and are really tired and are secretly pretty competent and also strong. The next group is Anak, Hatsu, and Lisu. Anak is the green lizard looking girl. She also has one of the 13-month series weapons with her, and she tries to fight Bam in order to get the Black March. Anak is claiming to be Anak Zahad, but in reality she's Anak's daughter, so her whole reason for climbing up the tower is to get revenge. So Androzy actually refers to her as a demi-princess. Hatsu is the really strong swordsman that Anak was fighting with during the first thing, so they're basically fighting the whole time, and then the timing ends saying that they've made it to the next level and they immediately stop fighting and start to be friends. Again, really strong swordsman. The third person in that group is Ship Lee Soo. So while Ship Lee Soo is relatively weak, he's actually super smart. So there's this test with the doors, and he's one of the only people to actually figure out the test. There are some other characters like Des Leon, Myo Chi, Hong Chun Hwa, Sun Woo, Parakyul, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember them at all, so they're obviously not important to me. So, those are all of the regulars and I guess 2 irregulars who are working on climbing their way up the tower. The next character is Heedon, and so Heedon is one of the guardians of the tower, specifically the first floor. And what's cool is that the first floor is the only tower where there's not also a ruler, so it's just Heedon there. Heedon is the guardian that picks all of the non-regulars from the outer tower and basically teleports them into the tower to be regulars. His real important bunny. Then you have Yuri Jihad, and she is another princess of Jihad, and a cool fact about her is that she was actually the last princess to make it to Ranker and then also get one of the 13-month series, the Black March. Literally the last person in the last 500 years. So she's very strong. Yuri is the first person that Bam meets who actually helps him. So she feels bad for regulars and lends him the Black March so that he can defeat the eel. And then he gets teleported up to the next level and takes the Black March, and she then has to go and search for him to get her sword back. Now we're on to the rankers and test administrators. So Lira Rowe is one of the first test administrators that you meet, and he also explains the general parts of the towers and irregulars to Bam. He's the first time that you also see Shinsu in use, when he creates the wall of Shinsu and everyone has to come through it. And he's personally my favorite test administrator. Quaint is another test administrator. So Quaint was the person who did the test for Rachel's group, and he comes in kind of upset because his test failed because he didn't send 2 really strong people with Rachel and they kill everyone in the test, and it's just 3 people. So he only has 3 people pass on to the next round. Then you have Yu Hai-sung, who is an advanced ranker. He's pretty well known because he got rejected to be a high ranker, and he is one of the overall test administrators, and he is apparently the bad guy of the first arc, but you'll find out later some fun things about him. And then finally you have Lopo by Rin, and he is this like sheep little guy looking homie who is also a ranker, the person who explains that you have to make contracts with the Guardian and shows Bam and all of the others how to do that. So hopefully this video clarifies who some of the characters are. Sorry if I missed some or if I left out your favorite. Let me know in the comments below who you like the best or think is the most important character, and who you hate the most and why it's Rachel. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye!